Hello there, and welcome to the Poppycock podcast. I'm your host once again, Frames Janko, joined by Gopher Trace and Woos Brillis.
Sleep.
We have Paul Rudd sitting at our feet right now, and
I said Bear Ud, and because Airbud backwards, and he was like, "Oh, Paul Rudd, yeah," because freaking forgot his roots of the '90s.
anyway, our conversation prior in our last episode was talking about the new games, including Gotham Knights, which happens to have the Court of Owls and Nightwing facing off against them, which just so happens to be something that Gopher here wrote up for a TV pitch for Nightwing over a year ago.
I'm not Gopher.
You're Gopher Trace.
I'm Borlando
All right, Borlando
That's much better, because I'm not going to be freaking That 70s Show.
Well, I was thinking of him whenever he was trying to kill
Also,
Jesse Eisenberg in that movie where he was secretly James
Borlando
Franco.
Also, isn't it crazy that Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis got married in real life and they're like still married?
I'm surprised. The part that they're still married was what surprised me.
That's like ridiculous. But anywho,
Hey, Borlando Bloom, I heard you're married to Katy Carey. In real life, he's like married to Katy Perry, and she shaved her head and like farted on like America's Got Talent. Yeah, he's settling way down.
yeah.
Oof. Also, he's like 50, I think, or 45 or something. He still looks great.
He is an elf.
So, Borlando, you were saying your Nightwing pitch.
Yes.
He's been wanting to do this for a while, and we've been wanting to do it for a while. And then this game happened, and now...
Yeah, so far I have 5 rough seasons ironed out.
How many of them are good?
I've cut out any stuff that I thought is bad.
So all of them are good.
All of them are decent. Okay?
I mean, it's not.
I
like,
think it'll be nice because we are recording this on the 23rd of August. So anything that's released news-wise about the game after this, we're not privy to what WB Games has done with their game. So it'll just be the like minds think like, or like that weird nebulous like prehistoric monster from Justice League New Frontier. It was reaching into your mind and it took your ideas and gave it to
Starro?
WB Games. No, not Starro. The big monster that like destroyed Superman in the opening of New Frontier.
I have no idea what New Frontier
You've never
is.
seen? It's like the 1960s style.
Yeah, it's where they based it off of sort
Neil
of the
Patrick
older
Harris was
style.
the Flash in that one.
Oh, that thing. Where
Yes.
it was all...
It was all Cold War era.
Pretty sure that was like that weird tentacle monster thing?
Yeah, that could
Was that
spawn
the-
dinosaurs.
Was that the one where Marsh managed to turn into Bugs Bunny?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that was Starro.
That was not Starro.
Sam, research it.
I'm gonna look it up while you talk.
Okay, so Nightwing, first Robin. I would have the show take place 1 year or like a year or two after he's officially become Nightwing and moved back to Bloodhaven to like take care of sort of his hometown. As for what his job is, anything other than frickin' cop. That's stupid. He fights crime in the day and fights crime in the night. He
Could be a gymnastics teacher.
Bite me. He's the son of a billionaire. He can do whatever
Oh
he
yeah, he
wants.
could just be a businessman.
Exactly.
They don't ever really talk about that.
That's what bothers me. It's like, he could be a bakery or he could lumberjack something. It's just something where they can make him look
Hey,
sexy.
Aquaman in New Frontier was also Aquaman in Smallville, and now he's Hawk in Titans. He was also Raphael in the Ninja Turtles movies that are already being rebooted. Lucy Lawless is Wonder Woman. I still love
Hot
that.
take. Now, as I continue.
That's not how it works, Borlando.
All right. So this would be an animated show.
Okay, animated.
Previously,
What style would you prefer it animated in?
I was thinking something close to Avatar: Legend of Korra. Here's the thing. Recently, I had a cartilage show, a show you watch in between other shows that has no importance to you. I watched an anime called Violet Evergarden. I recommend it. It's a good
It sounds like a weird. What was it called again?
Violet Evergarden.
Yeah.
It's the name of the character.
Sounds like a drug.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be
But
called The Guardian.
it's set after a war, and it's actually bloody in the fight scenes. I love it.
Oh my gosh, John
But-
F. Kennedy was played by John F. Kennedy in New Frontier.
I was about to get on to you for interrupting me, but that's good.
Yeah. Look at IMDb. It's just actual President John F. Kennedy because they reused his audio. and
archived
reclipped
sound.
it.
Yeah.
But I was in a DC movie
but-
after I died. I am the Spectre.
Oh,
If a
but-
president became the Spectre, that'd be. I mean, modern presidents, that would suck. But if it was one of the old ones, it'd at least be interesting.
I'm George W. Bush.
Look out! I'm here to fight evil.
I'm the vengeance of the Abrahamic God.
Boom, boom! I got a gun.
Oh, there's the like Phantom Stranger, who also real name Judas Iscariot. That's an actual DC character. Is Judas Iscariot?
Well, yeah, Jesus is a DC Comics character, which is, as I
And
said that out
Abrahamic
loud, I realized
God.
how insane that sounds.
Like creationism is just canon in DC.
Well, it's because like a lot of the first writers were like Jewish or Protestants. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, Jesus, he's a
Which
cool fella. Put him in there.
I allow it.
I don't know why I did that voice.
I allow it because
That's the voice of
Marvel
Christians.
has Big Bang as canon, so I think that you
Oh,
you have
yeah.
your two separate.
Did you know that
views.
both multiverses for each universe actually exist with inside a giant sort of like ridiculous kaiju mecha looking design, and they are two beings that are brothers in two different universes?
Are you
yeah,
talking about the
and-
Marvel and DC universes, the personification
Yeah.
of them that slowly became aware of them as a crossover?
Yes, I'm not happy with how excited your eyes, like you got crazy eyes all of a sudden, Woos.
So
I haven't seen that crazy
That-
since Looper.
hot take. So Violet Evergarden.
You can't just keep saying that. People that didn't see the previous episode won't understand. Hot take, you should stop doing that.
Hot take. Violet Evergarden has amazing animation, a very complex costume design for all its characters. So just get those, because Avatar was made by anime animators. Just get them to say, like, hey, go with this art style instead. Do their best. And either way, if characters come
It's
out
called the Center in New Frontier. It's called the Center. That's the bad guy.
thank you, Anchor. And I say that not as like a co-anchor, but because you're weighing me down as I'm trying to get to the point.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's voiced by Keith David, so
Anyway,
Huh. I like Keith David.
he's amazing in everything.
He was featured in Track by Ice Cube.
The new Suicide Squad game, I originally thought they were basing the look of Deadshot on Keith David, because he looks like a young, hotter Keith David.
I would love if they had just got Keith David.
Plus,
to
he's
be
the
Deadshot.
Arbiter
If
in
that
Halo.
were if that were the case, I would just play Deadshot all the time just to hear Keith David be like, "I never miss. I'm Keith David."
Yep,
That's
Keith David, the Center. Voice.
Yes, he's amazing.
When I saw the Center, I thought it was that Chris Hemsworth workout app, but now I realize that this makes more sense, that
So-
it was a monster killing us all.
So I would get that animation. You would start off with just Nightwing fighting his villains. That's season 1 is just him fighting his villains. You get Anarchy, who I would have be an older gentleman who like has sort of he's this influential person, like sort of like V, but he can't physically fight.
So V for Vendetta is what you're saying.
He can't physically fight.
Well, you said like V, but I'm not sure everyone will know who V is. V they might think is the protagonist of Cyberpunk
So he was
2077,
specifying.
which it is.
so you're specifying.
Yes.
V, the DC character.
Is V a DC character?
Yes, owned by Vertigo Comics that was bought by
I thought it was
DC.
Dark Horse.
No man,
Huh.
trust me, I did research.
Okay, well then tell me this. Who directed the V for Vendetta movie?
That was the Wachowskis.
Really? I didn't know that. I was genuinely just asking because I don't know.
Yeah, it was like before Matrix. You could tell that like
I could tell because it was edgy like a Snyder film, but it didn't quite feel like one.
yeah, you can
There
immediately
wasn't
tell
enough
once he starts
goggles.
throwing knives at the
Yeah,
end of the
that's
movie.
a good point. Good point, Woos. There weren't enough goggles for it to be a Zack Snyder movie.
Yeah, I still need to
What
watch
are they-
Sucker
How
Punch.
are there any? There has to be a shot of goggles in 300 somewhere, hidden. I guarantee you, someone has goggles.
What do you think is there in their thongs that they wear in a
we
battle?
keep the goggles for when we snorkel.
I'm sure if you examine closely, the tattoos on the main bad guy show
All
just
of
a
their
bunch
pets are
goggles.
just shadows.
Like they have tattooed goggles on their forehead.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely gonna rewatch 300. It's getting a 4K re-release, so I'm gonna rewatch it and see if there are goggles, and I'll get back to you.
So, another villain I'd have would be Calamity from Gotham Academy. You don't really know a whole lot, but thing is,
Hey, Kelly Lollins, you guys are kind of chatty.
hey, Fina Tay.
Can I have some sweet tea? Here, you keep talking to Woos. Keep going, Orlando.
Here's the glasses, unless you want a glass one.
Yeah, glasses. Don't you mean goggles? Snack cider? I'm changing my name to Snack cider. It's not a snack.
Here, a snack.
It's with 2 C's, not a CK. It's kid talk.
So in the big sort of villain they would take on is from the New 52. If you've read those, he's called Psycho, spelled Saiko. Changing that, I'm fusing him with a D-list villain named Raptor.
I was about to say, do you know who Raptor is? Because he's actually part of the Court of Owls, apparently.
Yeah,
Is he
Raptor.
like genetically altered?
Pretty much all the Court of Owls are.
Oh, that's
But I'd have him fuse that character with Raptor. Essentially, the whole thing is the Court of Owls was going to kidnap Dick Grayson, Nightwing.
because Haley Circus was also proving grounds for future Talons.
Eh,
It was in one comic continuity.
Haley was too nice of a person to do
Well,
that.
Haley didn't like it, but I think someone else was basically like pimping out.
Probably one of the clowns.
Contortionists.
Never trust a clown in Gotham.
Or little people that were shot out of equally small cannons. Not to be trusted. They're too adorable.
They do make a joke that whenever Haley Circus heads to Gotham, the clown is just miserable the entire time. It's like, I'm a clown in Gotham. They're gonna try and boo me off stage the moment they see my face.
Hello, everyone! No, my name's Bonko!
Can you imagine if Joker did take over the show and it's like, oh, like, which one's me? Really? You don't know which? Me. I have red hair. I was your godfather.
So you're saying that playing Hitman with the clown costume is canonically the Joker origin story?
So, the whole thing is, Raptor, as I'm going to be calling him, his whole thing is that he
loves the Ford Raptor pickup truck.
He's more of an F-150. By the way, screw pickup trucks that have the Longhorn rear view mirrors.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I go on
That's
dirt
why,
roads.
Like, the Ford Ranger is better because it's a smaller truck with just as
That's
much.
why
get up and
Italians had it right in car design.
go. Make them small and stupid,
By Tonka.
or just use a boat.
Yeah.
Have you seen Ferrari just test their cars on like small Italian back roads? You go by tractors with Ferraris.
Those are Forza commercials, Joel.
No, yes, but no.
So, anywho,
Also, it's frames.
can I please?
Or
No,
my snack.
it was Snack Zider.
I'm sticking with frames.
Whatever.
Snack is my superhero alter ego.
Both y'all shut up, okay?
Yeah,
I have been
Moose.
waiting months for this, and you keep
Okay,
being
let-
like,
have your
I'm a
sweet release.
snack.
It's your special night. Release yourself.
So, Raptor's whole shtick is the fact that he grew up with Nightwing and Haley Circus. He was just like a nameless kid who kind of grew up there. Well, he had a name, but like they never really said what he did at the circus, why there was just a child working there. So I would actually make it where he's the son of Haley himself.
Haley Jr.
Because Haley was basically a father to all those kids.
Haley Joel Osment. Got it.
And he was like, great, pretty much like anytime he saw them misbehaving, he's like, you guys are supposed to be in curfew. Well, let's go get ice cream. I don't care.
I don't want my circus dad to be like that. Actually,
Yeah,
now
and
that I
he
said
took-
circus dad. I never want a circus.
And best
I'll be your circus
best thing
dad.
about him, he took blame for whenever the kids were going to be in trouble and they had done something wrong. He's like, no, it was me. And he just lets them get off easy.
No, I stole all the Hot Wheels. Oops.
But he was like just the coolest guy. You're supposed to like Haley. And the whole thing is that after Raptor's kind of like taken into the core of Owls, because like after Dick Grayson's parents die in a freak accident, in some versions it's like, oh, well the Court of Owls killed them. No,
Sometimes it's Two-Face. Sometimes it like they wanted to.
that's
have...
Tim Drake's parents who were killed by Two-Face.
Wait, how were Tim Drake's parents killed by Two-Face? They weren't in a circus.
It didn't happen in a circus.
Well, that makes a little bit more sense, but I'm still confused.
It was just they were gunned down by Two-Face, and Batman's like, hey, you got killed. You're on the rough side of town.
I actually don't. I know about. Jason Todd, Dick Grayson, but I don't actually know that much about the early days of Tim Drake, except that he becomes the best detective, and in some cases becomes kind of screwed up in the future.
Yeah. So that whole thing happens. He gets taken to Court of Owls. I would have it be that the thing that causes Raptor to break. The thing that has Raptor break is the fact that Haley actually dies. He's like murdered and someone breaks into his house. And so he's like, if it had been Dick Grayson who was taken, I could have been there to protect my dad. And like, he doesn't hate the Court of Owls. He just hates Dick Grayson for not, doing his part. 'Cause he's brainwashed. He thinks the Court of Owls are awesome sauce.
Well, they are. They have cool masks.
Yeah, and they all have weird, probably orgies.
Can you explain this to me? Because I remember reading a comic, Sam Woos. I remember reading a
Sam
comic
Worthington.
where at one point Wham
Surthington.
Surthington. Can you please explain to me? We need to eventually pick names and stick with them consistently.
I think we have them.
I'm
Just try
Orlando
not to call
Oom.
me by them.
Anyway, I remember reading a comic where the Court of Owls, I don't know if it's because Batman had been dosed with something, but like they had like snarly like
Yeah,
talon
it's because he
arm-
was starting to go nuts.
Okay, so
'Cause he
that
was
didn't
drinking
actually happen.
He was drinking some weird water.
He was drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Was that when he was stuck in the labyrinth?
Yeah.
And then he found out that the Court
There's
of
a
Owls maybe
great,
killed
like-
his like great ancestor.
They
Oh
basi-
no!
They
Why
basically-
would he care?
There was this
Well,
illustrate
he also
how much control
he
they
also
had.
assumed that they might have had a hand in the death of his parents because they were trying to
Oh.
help the underprivileged.
Apparently, everyone came together for that.
Well, here's the thing: is no one That's the thing. He never conclusively finds out, but then Lincoln March shows up, who maybe is his brother and maybe isn't, but he's basically the Earth One Owl Man.
Yeah, I watched a video talking about the Corvallis and that whole plotline. Basically, it was that
I think Lincoln March is a stupid name, but I'm fine with us having an Owl Man.
Do you remember the origin behind it?
he was Thomas Markaway's first kid who was sickly, and they put him in a children's hospital, and then they died, and he never got taken out. The hospital went under, and the Corvallis was just like, we'll take this kid, and like...
We'll take your 5 children!
Well, actually, in some versions, the Corvallis can resurrect people, and that's how they make the Talons.
Yeah, I mean, that's how the Talons... They're
yeah,
basically
the whole thing is like the kid
state.
did die.
Oh, that's...
And he got brought back.
That part I did not remember.
And the reason that he picked that name for when he resurfaced because the street that his parents died on, Lincoln and March.
It's better than Crime and Alley.
My name's Crimes Alley.
Your name is Martin Luther?
I just remember the Talon goes to kill Bruce Wayne because Lincoln March does not like him, and then Bruce survives all of those fights, and he's like, hang on, only Batman could... Hey, he's Batman!
Hold on.
He's like, who could have done it? He always says, like, the who.
Like he's Winnie the Pooh. He's like, oh, that reminds me of my great-grandfather.
It's like, how will we know who the Court of Owls are? Like, yes, who indeed. Like, why did you say it
Can
that
you
way?
please count how many licks does it take to get a certain... Just like sweat starts beating down his brow.
1.
They've got me.
2, 3.
1. You
We all
need
know
to count
owls
another
finish it in 3.
To who?
I'm gonna move your body. If your head stays perfectly centered, I'll know you're an owl. Please, all have stupid owl quirks. I hunt. My ears aren't quite lined up correctly, so I can perfectly tell where things are.
He ate KFC and regurgitated the bones
With his gullet. He was in the Guardians of the Guardians of the Gahul.
Oh,
Guardians of Gahul was an animated movie based on books about owls, directed by Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder works for the Court of Owls.
Dude.
Who could have guessed?
Why do you think they never show up in any of the movies? Yeah, but anywho.
How deep does it go?
Anywho.
That's what she said.
Raptor
I have to do
doesn't.
10 push-ups.
Raptor doesn't go after Dick Grayson. He doesn't go after Nightwing. He goes after Dick Grayson, not knowing who he is. Dude, you know we stopped doing the "That's What She Said" thing, right?
What? I was doing push-ups for no reason?
I mean, you looked good while you were doing it.
I've learned to choose my battles on when to argue with you.
My head was getting humped by a wiener dog. You didn't think that was the time to
What?
tell me?
That's exactly when I told you. It's once that started
There were a
happening. I
couple
was like,
thrusts.
It's okay, he's out.
I didn't know your dog liked urinal.
who doesn't like urinal?
People without ears. So, the Court
Whatever,
of
they
Owls.
can't. They won't hear this.
Ha
What did you do wrong?
But fake laugh, but then you made eye contact with Sam Worthington.
It's Wham Surthington.
Whatever. Marshall Mathers. Wait. Which I didn't realize that's why he's called Eminem.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Also because he doesn't melt in the heat. I don't know if that's true, but it actually made sense.
And
when I
because
said
they
it.
no longer come in black.
Oh, that's... Wait, seriously? They got rid of brown?
Yeah, they got rid of brown.
That's so racist. M&M's are canceled. Skittles only, because, rainbows.
But then they had like all white candies, 'cause, like the rainbow belongs to the gay people. Like that was a whole thing they did, which is neat.
If you mix M&M's and Skittles, no one will know what they're eating.
Oh, and Kit Kat tried to do the same thing. It was like they had where it's like all no parallel lines, but they said like no straight lines because
No straights.
But it was, they were all straight. They just weren't parallel. But it looked awesome though, because they were all like Art Deco almost looking. Sorry, Sam Wham, thank you, ma'am, whatever your name is.
Anyway.
I'm mostly over it at this point.
Okay, mostly over. Anywho, hunting down.
He's mad at Nightwing and Dick
Yeah,
Grayson.
Nightwing has to. First part of the season is him sort of breaking that down. You also get a fight with Blockbuster, who me and Wham Bam, thank you Sam, have worked on. He now is the guy who starts. If you watch Batman Beyond, he's the guy who starts the splicing thing. Where he's like the first guy to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
Because the whole thing is he does take a drug that makes him smart and strong, and he
Who
has
wouldn't?
a brother who just is strong, but he also is called Blockbuster. But he dies and then he resumes. It's stupid.
Comics are kind of dumb.
And Young Justice redesigned him to look awesome, so I'm going with that
So
version.
I guess I'll have to watch that now.
I have a picture of it on my phone actually.
It's great in general.
But the whole thing, I have that fight where he actually can't beat him until Dick Grayson has to become like partially spliced for a little bit.
Oh.
So you get a monster on monster fight because call back to when the kids shows, that was always the coolest parts.
It was.
When they
Like
got
Batman
giant
versus
rope.
Dracula.
Like when
That was a great movie. But he's like, Dr. Alucard?
Yeah, yeah.
Dracula backwards! I solved it! World's greatest detective!
The funniest joke based on that was Futurama's joke. It was like 110011. It was like, what? That's gibberish. Sees it in a mirror. 00110.
I just remember when the Joker was... That's spooky. When the
Yeah.
Joker was a vampire, and he's like, I'm the Joker! And he had like that creepy, deep, booming voice.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
that was... He was like robbing
Here's what the
blood banks.
Nightwing would.
That's spooky.
Yeah.
But wait, is his butt still juicy?
Obviously.
Okay,
it
never
becomes
mind.
juicier.
Continue. Like a
And-
baboon's butt. He's like, fight me, raptor!
You didn't have to do the pose. This is audio based.
That's a good point. But I did anyway, and Kelly Lollins loved it.
That's what he does when he wants something from me.
Try to figure
Like spaghetti.
So, mid-season finale is when he actually gets to confront.
Confront?
Yes, he confronts the Panis of
Reality.
Raptor, and he's like, "Hey, here's like, I found out actually it was a Talon that killed your father because he was trying to figure out who kidnapped his son that entire
Oh.
time." And
So
so,
that Blockbuster is trying to figure out who killed his son, or Raptor.
Did you say panis?
yes,
Why?
For fun.
because I was mispronouncing words, so I figured I'd say Panis, which is a term for a fat that goes over the groin.
I know what it is. I'm a nurse.
Oh, good
You're
for
a
you.
hearse. We have to change
They have
things'
grades
names
for
slightly.
Depending on how low it goes.
Really? So you can have a panis
Is it like
rating?
a plus?
No,
Or
it's grade 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on if
That's
it
not
goes
creative.
below your knee.
Yeah.
They should have like
You know, for all these doctorates they have, they're not very creative.
they should have that's like fanny pouch, kilt, and then the final one
Jorts.
is
Mini skirt or mom
Genko
skirt.
jorts.
and the final one is a homeschooled girl's long keylog jean dress.
It's culottes.
Or
Whatever.
just call it an apron.
A keylog. A keylogger is what finds out what passwords you've been using secretly so other people can steal it. How do you get
That's where the
culottes and
Russian military
keylogs?
would send prisoners.
That's the gulag.
What
That's
about
what. That's a
Kellogg?
search engine.
That's Google.
That's the one that's. I don't have a thing to go with this.
So his
Yeah.
his son was being taken.
So Haley
Haley.
investigates that. Starts finding out what happened to Raptor, and he gets closer than anyone's ever
And
gotten.
that's why he got killed.
And that's the thing that Nightwing's able to like piece together. It's like, oh, he got closer than anyone else. I can take this and build off it and find out about the core vowels.
Yeah.
And so
Because
they,
I'm also a detective as
yeah,
well.
and they
You just agreed to that. You're welcome.
so they team up and they go to fight the core vowels, the Bloodhaven court, because they acknowledge the fact that there's like a bigger
So
group.
would they have red masks instead of white?
You might have a like vampire theme.
I like it. He's gonna
Uh,
try and put blood vultures in this, I guarantee you.
No, he was previously Blood Vulture was a name that I considered for Raptor before I found out Raptor was just like
An
one,
awesome name, first of all.
and it's a classification of bird of prey, which
Oh.
a lot of those like
It's scarier than the pterodactyl. Because a pterodactyl isn't also a variant
but
of F-150.
if they had
meant for Baja racing, Sam.
if they had a superhero if they had a
Wham!
if they had a like
Wham or woos?
Get your shirt that says Wham or Roos. With no context. I do need a shirt that says I like Zack Snyder. I'm sick of defending it. Like, I don't think he's the greatest
Dude,
director. I just
do
enjoy
you
the
s-
stuff he does.
they had a
It's like saying I like
Kinda
McDonald's.
Funny
I
makes-
know it's bad for me.
Kind of Funny has a shirt that says Batman v Superman was good.
I know. I actually have thought about getting it. I laughed so hard I just cleared my sinuses.
So anywho,
Bruce or Wham.
they end up teaming up, and their whole thing's
Oh.
that all the talents they have to wear special lenses because their eyes are made to like be super good at night.
That's
but,
terrifying.
But they
Continue.
can't, and subsequently their eyes are entirely blacked out,
Also terrifying. Continue.
with usually scarring around the eyes.
I'm liking it.
The
Scared.
whole
like
thing-
a sexy vampire.
Yeah. The whole thing is that afterwards they have to, like, they're going to confront the core vowels, and the way they find out taken out is like, oh, we'll just like, essentially, keep the lights on and take out all their goggles. Like, we'll disable all the core
What
vowel
will
stuff.
Snack Cider think when you break the goggles?
But here's that causes Raptor to like not be able to see either.
Mm.
So it's only by working together that they could do it.
Aw, friendship.
That is like I had like a premise for what like
Care Bears, yeah.
it was gonna be. Oh, it was moving on was like the theme for season 1.
Okay.
It was gonna be like, hey, you need to get over the fact that you think like you could have saved his life, but you need to move on.
Yeah,
And essentially it was
you
anti
can't time travel in that universe. but
It's essentially would be an anti-nostalgia theme for the first season.
I can dig it.
And then the second half of the season is them taking those core vials to court. Actually,
Like actual court.
yeah, like actually taking them. Like, hey, they were running a cabal of stuff.
They kidnapped children,
Yeah.
and murdered people.
Yeah, and
That's
they get
how
like
they'll phrase it too.
they start getting
kidnap children,
but they have to prove.
I don't know. They kidnapped children. Well, okay.
But they have to get
Gavel.
they have to get proof on all that stuff.
But right as they think that they've got him locked down, they said, "Oh, hey, who had the evidence last?" And the judge is like, "Yes, who did?" And you're like, "Oh no, he's gonna get him off."
That's the core vials try and do every shady trick they can, threatening, assassination,
They become
blackmail.
like Suits.
I did say in my notes on my PC, there's like, hey,
But that means Bruce Wayne has to show up, so you can literally just replicate Suits with Harvey Specter.
he doesn't show up till. Well, I guess he could show up.
Well, Dick, looks like I'm in charge
And
now.
he's voiced-
Actually, this is my part of the whole place. No, I don't think so. If you wanted my help and didn't ask for it, you didn't deserve the respect you never thought you had.
Could you pass me salt? If you don't have salt, you don't deserve it. Suits is just insane. I actually.
It's great working with you again, Bruce. It's been a while since we've seen Jason, though. Who? No! How deep does it go?
So, anywho. It goes to prosecution, and
I like
like
how you just shrug off how
they
stupid
had
that
to.
was.
They have to find evidence, like show the network, and you actually get the audience to actually see how the core vials was operating.
Okay.
They have to bring in, like, essentially, like, okay, we need to find out what connection all these core vials, who we know are members, find out what they have in common, how they were communicating to each other. We can find that. We can find
Probably
the
through
messages.
Hoots.
Uh,
They all work at Hooters.
so they actually have to bring in a consultant, and this is just fan service for me because I don't care. They bring in Question because if there's anyone who could pull something from nothing, it's a man who literally sees patterns in nothing.
Yeah.
Because he's insane.
And he's Alan Tudyk,
He's
again.
a conspiracy theorist
Uh,
of the DC universe, basically.
I've been saying it.
I'd have
they
it
made
where
a
he's essentially hot fuzzing it up, where he's like, "There's something bigger going on in this small town," but it would be a retirement home that he's like infiltrated.
I've been saying it 1,000 times. The two people that could make a Question or Rorschach movie would either be Edgar Wright or Zack Snyder. If you wanted to make it ridiculous and funny, or if you wanted to make it as dark as the comics.
You have to make it ridiculous, and obviously throw in Huntress. She can come
Oh,
in
yeah,
from
they're-
Birds
they're
of Prey or
adorable.
something.
Oh yeah, she was in that. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
That's a very forgettable
I just
movie.
remember the posters and nothing
The
else.
best thing about it is that they had hyenas that looked real because they were just German shepherds that they digitally changed from the collar up into a hyena face. Yeah, they just got a very fluffy breed of German shepherd, and they added like some spots and stuff, but that's why it looks so photorealist, because for most of it, it was actually captured in camera. So kudos to them.
I'm sure Margot Robbie appreciated getting to play with dogs on set.
Margot Robbie literally ruined that movie as a producer and like giving it a stupid name and forcing her character into a Birds of Prey movie instead of Gotham City Sirens or whatever the villainous version is. All these dumb choices. Also, Cassandra Cain is a totally different character that she shouldn't have been, and for some reason, like Black Mask and Zaz are a couple, but it's like not healthy. It's just there's a lot to ask about why.
Because they're men, they're obviously not healthy. Anyway,
Good
back
point.
to the healthiest man in the world, Dick Grayson's butt. Uh,
I just would like to point out that Kelly Lawlence prefers Jason Todd's butt.
okay.
I'd
He
like
has
to
better.
point out that
He has
this
better
is-
pecs. Okay, but the butt is Nightwing's.
Stop.
You're-
I'll
Stop.
give you that
Woos,
one.
your
I'll give you
face
that
is
one.
red. Okay, so season 2.
Well, they bring it. They find out. Here's the thing. They essentially have a code set up through like monuments built around Bloodhaven because Corval's super old.
Yeah,
So
it
they
predates Gotham's founding.
so they have like a whole bunch of like parks and stuff where it's totally public places where you can go.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
At any point, does the Order of Sanctum or the League of Assassins clash with the Court of Owls? Because they are all secret organizations that hate each other.
Let's
I'll
go.
never tell.
Let's go to season 2 then.
All right, let's hop in the deuce.
All right.
I have to say, you should probably kick up the speed for this, or else we're going to go way over time.
Fine. Season 2. Dealing with the Titans and sort of the rest of the Bat family.
Okay.
Not quite Batman as much, but it's like he sort of reconnects. Cyborg, he faked Jinx's death, who was a villain who he
Yeah.
had a thing for. Faked her death, and Nightwing finds out about it by the worst way possible, by meeting up with Jinx, finding out she's not dead, and not hearing Cyborg's side of it first.
Ooh.
Yeah. And also, they're hanging out in the Titan Tower. They kind of turned that into their home now that he's a League member.
Fair.
Beast Boy is living in Japan with the Titans of Tokyo, which is
That's cool.
I actually have the team. I actually filled out what his roster would have been.
Whatever happened to Masi Menos, the weird speedster twins?
They were made up for that show, and no one liked them.
I thought they were hilarious because they were so stupid. Also, did you know that Justice League Unlimited, they wouldn't allow anyone to use Batman characters because they didn't want to confuse people with other shows. So even the Batman wasn't allowed to have Robin at first. That's why they did Batgirl first until Teen Titans ended because they thought people would be too stupid to understand that, hey, like, Batman is in this, but he's also in this, and they're not the same person.
To be fair, I was stupid at that age.
Yes, things have changed.
But anywho,
Orlando,
the heroes on his team, they're the same members as the Wildcat, which is the Ray, Mr. Majestic, the Grifter, and Voodoo. Essentially, you can pretty much look them up and see what their shtick is. Green Hornet, that's one of the villains, because he charades as a villain,
Yeah.
the whole thing. He tries to shuffle in on Jason Todd's territory. Jason Todd takes a problem with that, and he's like, hey, Dick Grayson and Tim Drake, I need you to impersonate villains to help me take down this really bad guy. And he essentially sets heroes to try and take down other heroes to teach him a lesson. And whenever that whole thing, like, wait, we're just heroes, he's just, like, shooting pool in his, like, house, like,
I liked that.
And I imagine his house was probably made out of, like, shipping containers or something.
I was thinking he had, like, a boathouse, like he just lived in a boat on the docks or something.
Fair. And Raven would be currently Dr. Fate.
Oh.
She started losing control with Trigon, so she put on the helmet of Dr. Fate. Beast Boy does not like Dick Grayson because of that, because he did not consult anyone else with that decision.
Oh, so Dick Grayson just put the helmet on her?
She was like, I need a way out. I was like, I have a way out, and consulted only her, but the rest of the Titans were not consulted. And Beast Boy never got to tell her how he felt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Unresolved feelings.
Yeah,
Trauma.
so he doesn't like him. But also, Barbara Gordon and Jim Gordon Jr., which is...
her brother.
Yeah. He's supposed to be insane. I have it where instead he's connected to... They find out he's not insane. He's just a metahuman who's connected to Dreamslayer, who is Dormammu of the DC Universe.
Okay.
Like, they officially confirmed, like, yeah, we want our own.
Okay.
Let's see. Starfire returns from her long crusade on her planet. And last time Dick Grayson saw her, he keeps saying, like, oh, yeah, I'm in a relationship with her, but he hasn't seen her in years.
Mm-hmm.
She comes back, entirely different personality. She is now hardened, and she has done stuff that is, like, she doesn't...
She, like, liberated her people from
intergalactic
slavery.
Here's the thing. She crossed some lines doing so. The Green Lantern Corps hates her because she hates them. They did not protect her planet. And so she has hurt innocent people. She essentially became the Darth Vader for a little bit, and then, like, once she finally liberated...
But hotter, obviously.
Once she finally liberated
Well, not lava hot. Am I white, Roos?
Am I white, Roos?
It's hard to say it, okay?
Yes, you are white. Spoilers.
Frames Janko comments nothing on the time.
I thought your name was Snack McGoober or whatever.
Snack Zider is my superhero alias. Why do you make movies in slow motion that are controversial?
Anywho, the big bad evil guy for this is Trigon.
I like that.
I have...
Is he still the demon of the Demon's Head of the League of Assassins?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Because that was genius and I love it.
Come here, tiny
Also,
monkey dog.
I found out what Azeroth, Minthron, Zinthos means.
It means, can I get a minute?
No, Azeroth is the city that Trigon corrupted. Hell did not originally look like hell. It was meant to be a place of peace that he conquered. The second word, Menthrion, that's Raven's real name.
Oh.
And Zinthos is her raven that she can manifest.
Huh.
Like whenever she turns to a giant raven.
I don't know how many times I've heard or read that term without knowing that.
Yeah, I know.
I just thought someone
I had
made it
to
up.
look up multiple sources to confirm that.
Yeah.
I have a picture I did of Trigon just because it proves...
Here, let me describe it to the... Show it to me.
Uh,
Go for
how I want to... Because
Tiny
Trigon,
claws in my pants.
Trigon has 4 eyes.
Yes.
And that bothers me so much, so I fixed it.
Oh, that's creepy. It's basically one head with 2 eyes, but either eye is also the opposite eye for 2 other heads that split off at 45-degree angles.
Yeah, his right eye is the left eye of an entirely different face.
Sort of like, what's the name of it? The Transformer that can change faces. Like it rotates.
The Quintessas.
Quintessas, thank you.
Or like the Wabbajack from Elder Scrolls.
Sure, yeah, I know that.
You can look up that image. Point is, he's trying to break free, and Dr. Fate's getting a little weird. They're starting to wonder if maybe he's corrupting the helmet.
Like, Dr. Fate is corrupting the helmet?
Trigon's corrupting the helmet of Dr. Fate.
So it could be like a battle between the, like,
gemstone on her
head
forehead,
and
which
the-
I have as the first portal Raven ever, like, Trigon tried to open.
Ah.
Because she is meant to be the sort of the avatar that he possesses.
Yeah.
He has
She's like
also
the
he has a
Antichrist.
crap ton of children. Most
Oh.
of them are full demons.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and also that yellow.
So that was just the only woman who was like, "I'll take you to bed, big boy."
She did not want to be taken to bed. She was a good aligned wizard.
Not in Titans, where she seems to be a nice girl, and then it turns out that oh, I just lost it.
Well-
From Castle, the Irish guy. What was the? That was mine.
Miko
Oh.
just drank it.
Well, Miko just drank my tea. What was the name? What was the? Hey, thing that birthed us. What was the name of the two cops in Castle that went Castle?
Esposito and Ryan?
Ryan and Esposito. Ryan is Trigon in Titans. That's his human form.
Yeah, that's what I saw when I was looking at pictures of Trigon. I was like, oh.
Also, Ryan and Esposito were the names of the. Oh my God, that dog went in my butt. What's the name of the two police officers in A Cold Night in Gotham? It's because both of them, like, there's just a lot of crossover between that show and
Yeah.
DC. So,
Yeah. Anywho, speeding this up, Trigon tries to get through. They manage to defeat Raven. They find out that the helmet is Dr. Fate has a different has entirely different form in the afterlife, like sort of heaven, where he makes sure people can't come back, and that's the Spectre. The Spectre
Oh.
and Dr. Fate are the same person, just on two different planes of existence.
interesting.
They have to and they end up fighting Trigon as he starts opening up portal hell. They have to go inside of Azarath, which is it's a unique look because it's not quite hell. It's a utopian society that was sheltered from the world that then he corrupted. So there's worn out posters and stuff. It's a really cool place.
Well, I mean, obviously, probably not.
and
If
it-
it's a bad.
And it was
place.
it's a technological utopia. It was magic.
So it's like evil Star Trek.
Yeah, and there are also supposed to be rings that could allow Raven to theoretically control her power seamlessly.
One ring to rule them all specifically.
10 rings. There were 10 rings total. And they all
You
kind of have
tiny
to work
little
together.
nugget.
But they end up taking on Trigon, and the portal's starting to close. They manage to make their way out, and the Lazarus Pit is obviously what he's trying to use as his thing. That it essentially keeps him immortal. Is the Lazarus Pit?
Ah.
That was another one of his portals that started leaking or whatever. And they took that as this thing, we're getting visions of demons. Let's start praising this guy. He does not know about them. They're
Yeah.
just essentially fleas subsisting on his power.
So Ra's al Ghul has no actual connection to Trigon, or did they eventually?
He has connections, but it's entirely. We'll actually get to that in season 3. Trigon almost takes him on. The portal starts shrinking. Trigon can take a human form, as shown, but it's actually one of his powers so that he can
Yeah.
shapeshift into anyone.
Is he hot?
Does
he look like Lucifer from Netflix?
a DILF?
Yes.
Silver Fox
Oh,
Lucifer.
Hey.
Whose turn is it to watch Miko? I'm sorry, Bear Ud?
Go.
So much.
Kitty Pete.
Yes.
He's leaking.
Well, but it's not mine.
I don't
Oh, I
know.
thought you were saying the P. It's oh, is he leaking? It's not mine.
Yes, this is
The giant puddle.
Mom, stand over here. You can see the glare.
this is Moose Wham confirming that is not my pee.
I've never seen that P in my life.
Well, maybe
That woman's a liar.
is it Becca's turn? I don't
Is
know.
it
Probably.
her pee?
I don't know.
Whose pee came out of the dog?
So Trigon ends up takes a human force to come through, and Beast Boy takes the helmet off Raven, which has probably already been knocked off at some point
Yeah.
because she needs to get power, and he puts it on Trigon. Trigon becomes the next Dr. Fate.
That's. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, and it's a power stroll. You start seeing the helmet starts actually warping and bending out. Like when you see a gun barrel that blows up
Yeah.
and splinters, the helmet starts doing that at the base. And then Dr. Fate just kind of disappears, and you're like, did he just turn back? And then you see him come back, and the helmet now has its full armor set. Because I always felt like the helmet clashed against the rest of the look.
Yeah, in Injustice he had full armor.
Yeah, but essentially it more like plate mail.
Oh.
He starts coming through, and he's like, thank you, my plan all along. See you later. And you find out that was pretty much his thing. It's I need to stop ultimate evil, and the best way to do it is probably just get me more powerful. And
So would that mean that Raven would no longer have a calling towards evil?
exactly. And
She has a calling towards good. She'd be like, why do I feel like making muffins for this orphanage?
then she gets things like, oh, now she's powerless because the source for power is gone.
Oh, yeah.
So instead, it's
So she should be trained by the League of Assassins because she should be dating Damien, not Beast Boy, and I stand by that.
No, takes a thing that was like the cloak of like the good of her mother,
Mhm.
which is the white raven cloak,
Oh, okay.
and then you get that, and she gets powers back.
I still think she should be dating Damien, not Beast Boy.
Yeah.
But continue.
Now, we're going to continue season 3 on the next part because we're reaching the end of however long we've been recording.
40 minutes.
Wow, it's not that
You're an entire episode of a TV show. Minus commercial breaks.
Oh, I could throw in commercial. I forgot to mention every Christmas special is a Red Hood centered story.
Okay, never mind. Alright, so join us for part 2 where his mania spirals to full-blown insanity.